Hey MMA fans, Cage Mind, your host Micah Frankel here, continuing in our series of interviews focusing on WMMA and specifically around the historical upcoming Invicta Fighting Championship event April 28th. Today, we are glad to be joined by Cassie Rodish, who's having to come in on late notice. How are you doing and how is training going so far in the last couple days?
Oh, I'm doing really good, thanks. Training's awesome. It's actually, kicking up the cardio a lot right now. Just trying to get intense, get a good game plan going. We're pretty much kicking my butt.
Were you in a training camp prior to getting the call for this fight? Were you getting ready for a fight?
Well, I was hoping to fight on May 12th. It was kind of up in the air, but I'm really just always in the gym. I'm always ready to go. This will actually be my third pro fight out of 5 that I've taken on less than 2 weeks' notice. So my cardio and everything's up there. I'm always in the gym, always working on my technique. So I could always be one of those fighters who's ready to go. We don't always get the opportunity to have a 6-week camp. So I just really like to try to stay fresh and just get going. And then when I get the notice, hit it in the hardcore.
So just wondering, a lot of people say throughout a camp, you get the nicks, the bumps, the bruises, and no one ever comes into a fight 100%. Taking these fights on short notice, do you almost feel that you come in closer to 100% perhaps than your opponent because you haven't had that long, drawn-out training camp and haven't got too beaten up throughout the time?
I don't think so necessarily. I mean, my guys go on me hard. A lot of it is teamwork, so if they have fights going on, we go just as hard. So sometimes things happen. I'm really good right now. I don't have anything going on, but I know that, quite a few times I get injured when I'm just helping my guys get ready for a fight too, so it can be both ways.
So, what were you doing when you got the call? What were you doing when you found out? And what did you do immediately after you found out you were going to be a late replacement for this April 28th card?
Well, unfortunately, I had just gone out that weekend to help my really good friend, Michelle Gutierrez. I flew out to Vegas on a Friday, and I spent a couple days with her. And she was in the middle of her camp, so she wasn't eating. I was literally at a buffet eating a ton of food when Janet called me and was like, hey, do you think you can make 105? So I was like, oh, but I was enjoying my last minute of food.
All right. So coming in on the short notice, what's most important for you to focus on? Is it that cardio, making sure you can go 15 minutes, or what's the most important thing right now with the short training camp to focus on?
I mean, I just plan on going in and just making it my fight. I'm not going to worry too much about, really what she's going to bring. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to dominate. I have to make the fight my fight. She doesn't know a ton about me or how I fight. I just need to go in, be in her face, be aggressive. My cardio's up there. I'm just going to push the pace. It's going to be my fight. I'm not going to let her dictate what's going on in the cage.
Right. I had talked to the athlete that you're taking the place of for her, Jessica Phillips, and she had already had, this is the second time now it will be canceled between her and Megan Wright, so she had a pretty good idea of Megan's style and everything. Have you done any, YouTube searching? Have you looked? Did you already know about her?
Well, I've actually wanted to fight her before as well, only because she's in the same weight class and in kind of that Midwest area. So we've tried before to set up some fights as well, and they've just never come together, whether it's the shows or however we were never able to meet in the cage. So I have, seen some of her fights in the past. Unfortunately, there's not a lot out there, so I've never really gotten to see her to go into the third round and see what else she has. So I'm really not quite sure what weapon she has necessarily. She's a lot taller than I am, lankier than I am, so really got to watch out for a few things. But that's why I just need to go in there and push my pace, play my game, and make her work to what I'm doing.
All right. So in that, how much of the game plan, and then also being on short notice and coming into the fight, how much does that wear on your mental, and how much do you say that shows your mental strength? You know, gathering all together in such a short amount of time and then hopping into a fight?
Yeah, I think it's kind of an advantage for me because I really haven't had like a really long time to think about it, and it's not. I don't set it, you know, for weeks at a time and wonder about wins or losses and sponsors, and I just get to go in, you know, fight hard and do a great job. As to where somebody who maybe had a longer camp has more time to let that mental set in. I don't have any of that. I can go. I'm excited. This is a huge show, a huge opportunity. So mentally, I'm psyched. I'm ready to go. My body's ready. My cardio's ready. I mean, it's just going to be a great show.
Okay. You said your body's ready, so no extreme dieting this week. You should be able to make weight, and you're going to feel comfortable in there, because I just hate to see a fighter that kind of looks drained out, looks dead, and looks like they used all of their energy trying to get down to weight, especially on the short notice. That would be a worry.
Yeah, I'll set, you know, we're thinking about maybe doing, you know, the last couple pounds while I'm there, but I don't think it's going to affect me too much. You know, I'm pretty close to weight as is. I always try to stay within so much. Weight is not going to be an issue whatsoever, so nobody worry about that. I'm going to come in. It's not going to affect me. I'm going to be strong. It'll be just fine. I'm not going to do anything more dramatic than anybody else.
Okay, and for the fans that don't know you too well, how would you describe your own personal style? You go with the flow, kind of a grinder, a striker, a grappler. If you had to put yourself in more of a smaller box than being a mixed martial artist, what would you define yourself as?
Well, I know in the past when I first started, I started in a Muay Thai gym, so I love to stand up. You know,
We're having technical difficulties, people. Please hold on the video. Hello, can you hear me? I think this is going to conclude part 1 of Cage Mind's interview with Cassie Rodish. If there's a part 2, I will post this too on YouTube. Uncage the War Within Yourself. Have a good night. Oh yeah, and everyone again, watch Invicta Fighting Championships, April 28th. Women's MMA getting a full card, deservingly to just them. It'll be spectacular. Kansas City, Kansas, and it's a free stream on YouTube. Everybody watch it. Cassie Rodish, Megan Wright starting out the card. Should be an awesome fight.